What's up guys, TopTierYugioh here, and last weekend I decided to go to YCS Atlanta, and so I'm going to show you the deck that I played in both the main and side events. And as the title says, and as you can probably see, I did play Infernoids. But not just a standard deck of Infernoids, but this is 60 card Infernoids with Burning Abyss, Zoodiacs, and Phantom Knights. So it's sort of like Infernoid, Zoo, PK, Fire. Really good though, and I'll get into the reasons into why I played this as I go through the deck. And so let's start with the Infernoid engine. I played 2 Onunku and 2 Deviati. These are the main boss monsters. Deviati can destroy all spell and traps on the board and negates monster effects, and then Onunku destroys all monsters and negates spell and trap effects. So next we play 3 Decatron. When summoned, you send 1 Infernoid monster from your deck to the graveyard, and then it gains its level, and then also gains its name and effect. And so you can send like Onunku Deviati to get negations. You can send Harmonic Petrolia to pop cards, Primus to spin spell or traps back to the deck, Entra to bounce monsters, etc. Like, it's just really good and very versatile. 3 Infernoid Harmonic. Once per turn you can destroy monsters, standard banish effect. And the reason I played 3 versus 2 like a lot of other people play is that, well, 1 is a 60 card and so you have space to do it. But then also, I play a lot of other level 3 monsters that would allow me to go to Invoker and other rank 3 plays more consistently, such as the Phantom Knights, which I'll get into later. 3 Sightsummons, super easy to summon from the hand or graveyard, and then amazing effect. When it battles an opponent's monster at the end of the battle phase, you can banish 1 card on the field. And so there were so many times where I would like attack an Emerald and banish a Trident. There's a game against Invoked where the guy tried to set the fusion as a bluff, banished it with Sightsummons. 2 Petrolia, very similar to Harmonic. Once per turn, you can pop a spell or trap, versus Harmonic pops monsters. And one really cool play that I did once was I used Void Feast to special summon both Petrolias, popped 2 back row, and then overlaid for a Broad Bull, searched the rat, normal summon the rat, and then did the rat combo. So Petrolia is really good. And then for the one-ofs, 1 Infernoid Primus, 1 Entra, 1 Jet, and then 1 Natundel. Primus is really good because your opponent cannot respond with the card that you target, and so a lot of people don't know that, and you're not obligated to tell them, and so they'll just let you summon it, and then they'll just like not do anything. They'll have like a set barrier, or I don't know, Sanctum, whatever, and you just spin it back to the deck and they can't respond. That catches a lot of people off guard. So Primus is actually really good, and it's a level 1 in case you mill out your Decatrons. Entra is really good because there's a combo with Harmonic and Decatron that requires Entra in deck, and also bouncing monsters actually isn't that bad. Jet's mainly just used because it's a level 6 to summon off a Feast for the double Decatron play, but its on-board effect isn't terrible. I mean, if you resolve it enough times, plus the Tiara, you can really clear your opponent's extra deck, so Jet's not bad. Atundel's probably my favorite of the bunch to draw because at least it can put up a lot of damage, and it has a lot of attack, so Atundel's really good too. So for that combo I just mentioned that requires Entra, all you need is a Decatron and a Harmonic in hand, and then you need Entra in your deck. And so what you do is you summon Decatron, activate the effect to send Entra from the deck to the graveyard. Because Entra is level 2, Decatron will gain those 2 levels, and so it'll become a level 3. Now you can banish Entra from the graveyard to summon Harmonic. Now you have 2 level 3 monsters. You can overlay for Invoker, summon your rat, and do your rat combo. Or you could go into Dante, make Beatrice. There are a lot of plays that can come from this, so just very easy to summon a rank 3 from this combo. You could also do a level 6 Synchro, but we don't play any of those, but you know, it's an option. It's another reason why I play 3 Harmonic. Next, we do have a Burning Abyss engine, and so for that we play 1 Tour Guide, 3 Skarm, 2 Farfa, and then for the one-ofs, Seer, Graph, Cowcap, Alec, and Barbar. And so the reason I play this engine is for 1, to be able to make rank 3s more consistently. So any 2 Burning Abyss monsters or Tour Guide can give me Invoker, and that just makes the deck so much more consistent. And then also you can make any other rank 3 such as Leviair. The second reason I'd play this is because well, Beatrice just beats all rank 4 decks. Like, if you remember Burning Abyss format, or if you saw like the Burning Abyss guide, the PK Fire guide, like the whole point, or not the whole point, but the best thing about that deck was that it beat every other Xyz deck. Because Farfa, you could just send Farfa to the deck to the graveyard at any point in your opponent's turn, banish an Xyz monster, it loses all the material. Like, it just beats rank 4 decks. And Zoodiac is a rank 4 Xyz deck, and so being able to summon Beatrice and keep it on board makes it very hard for Zoodiac decks to play. It's also immune to Slumber, Raigeki Darkhole, so they pretty much have to Kaiju it. And if they don't draw the Kaiju, it can be very hard to out. Because obviously, you're not going to let them just crash a Whiptail into it, so it's really good. And then the final reason is just to make my lawn mowing mills that much stronger. because milling Scarm means I can search a tour guide or another Burning Abyss before I play the next turn. Milling Farfa will clear my opponent's Tridents, Emeralds, whatever. Milling Seer or Graph can pretty much get anything else. And then milling Cowcap gets rid of back row. Alex, another monster negator. Barbar for burn. I didn't actually resolve Barbar many times, I think only once. But I mean, it was there as another name and if I actually needed it, but the others are actually really important for just clearing boards and making other rank 3s. Like, there are so many times I would mill Seer Graph and then just like Seer, bring back Graph, Graph special on something else, and then be able to make an Invoker or another rank 3 play. So the Burning Abyss engine performed very, very well. Very happy with it. Next we played the standard Zoodiac engine. 3 Ratpiers and then 1 Whiptail. We all know what these cards do, but they work really well on this deck because they allow you to go into an extra level, or rank 4 I should say. They let you go into Bujin Kagetsuchi. And then when this is summoned, it lets you mill 5, so you can mill more Burning Abyss and Infernoid monsters to get even more effects. And so obviously the Trident play is really good too, but Kagetsuchi is the main reason to play this, as well as it just being good. Just really, really good right now. Ooh, and Whiptail under Kagetsuchi, very, very strong. And then with that Zoodiac combo, you have to play Terrortops and take Tomborg. These just help you get to your Zoodiac engine that much faster. Don't really need much explanation. Then for the Phantom Knights, I played 3 boots, 1 gloves, and then 1 cloak. And I played the Phantom Knights as just another set of level 3 monsters that could help me go into Invokers. So you have Harmodic, you have Terrortop, Take Tomborg, all those are level 3 monsters. These are just more level 3 monsters to help you make more rank 3s. But then also, these make your mill stronger with Lawn Mowing because you can mill any of these and then get effects. So you can mill like a cloak, search a level 3 monster to summon with a Harmodic. So it's very, very good. And then boots is really good because you can search back row. So I didn't want to play any back row that I had to hard draw because in a 60 card deck, it's very unlikely for you to hard draw it. Like, hard drawing single individual unsearchable cards is very low, and you're much more likely to mill them. And so I thought, what kind of defense can I play in that situation that I can consistently see, of course, because of course you can play like, I don't know, barrier strikes and stuff, but you won't consistently see them and you're just going to mill them most of the time. So I wanted cards that were going to be good if I draw them and good if I mill them. And the Phantom Knights sort of fit that build perfectly because if I milled them, they just became defensive cards. If I milled boots, I could just banish it to search Fogblade, which gave me searchable defense. And that's pretty much exactly what the deck needed in my opinion, because it makes your boards going first that much stronger. And the last monster I played was 1 Fairy Tale Snow. And a lot of people were asking me why I only played 1, but the reason I played 1 is that it's a level 4 monster, so it doesn't really synergize very well with the deck. I never wanted to draw it. And with Lawn Mowing, I'm milling 20. Or even more. Sometimes less, but I'd say on average 20 cards. I think it's a pretty good probability of milling a 1 of. Plus, you also have Dante, you have Kagetsuchi, and then we also have Beatrice. Like, you can directly send this with Beatrice. You don't need to draw this, and you never really want to draw it. Because there are no other level 4s in the deck. Like, I mean, except for Rat, but Rat's another normal summon. And so, like, none of these really synergize well if drawn together. Like, literally none of them. The only thing that would work well with the snow if drawn with it would be Patrouilla. But even then, it's just, like, super specific. And without actually resolving Lawn Mowing, it's hard to get enough cards to banish for the effect. So really, I just wanted to, like, send off a Lawn Mowing or Beatrice when I already had established boards. I just never wanted to draw it. And so that's it for the monsters. And I think it's 41 if I'm not mistaken. For the spells, we have 3 That Grass Looks Greener, and then with that, 3 Left Arm Offering, which pretty much meant I have 6 Grass Looks Greener, because this was like the only thing I ever searched. I think there was one time I searched a Foolish Burial, I think, once. I think. But mostly it was getting the Grass Looks Greener, just because I think Grass Looks Greener is one of the strongest cards of this format. And so I'm sort of like addicted to 60 card decks right now because it's just so good, so easy to resolve, and then once you resolve it, you just have so many more resources. Like it's sometimes just like a +5, +6. Consider you're milling Burning Abyss monsters, Infernoids, PK Fire monsters, or I'm sorry, Phantom Knight monsters. It's just too easy to play, too good. Then next we have 3 Void Vanishment and then 1 Void Imagination. Void Vanishment is amazing. Like, seriously, it's ridiculous. Being able to search Void Feast, which I'll actually just bring that out right now. So, had the one Void Feast. Being able to search Void Feast or Imagination was just insane. Void Feast especially. So if you don't know what Void Feast does, you send one Void spell or trap from your hand or face up on your side of the field to the graveyard. Special summon up to 3 Infernoids from your deck whose levels equal exactly 8. And so what you could do normally is summon double Decatron and Jet, and then Decatron to send a Nunku Deviati, so you have 2 Decatrons that can negate both spells and monster effects. And then you have Jet, which is like DD Crow, but generally you're just like tributing Jet for the other effects. So it's just really powerful because it kind of doesn't let your opponent play Yugioh. And then Void Vanishment, because it's continuous, it stays on the board, so it fulfills the cost of Feast. But then also you can search Imagination, which just helps you answer boards. So you can it's like Shadow Fusion pretty much for Infernoids, but it only lets you do up to 6 for Tierra. But still, that's sending 6 Infernoids from your deck to the graveyard. That's just crazy. It's just really, really free. And then Vanishment does also have the effect that's like DD Warrior Lady for Infernoid monsters, but I never actually used that. I don't think I ever wanted to. Whenever I had Vanishment on board, I wanted to send it to the graveyard with Feast, and that was it. Like, I never wanted to send this to the graveyard for its own effect. But nonetheless, Vanishment's very good. And then finally for the spells, I played 2 Tenki and then 1 Foolish Burial. I could not get my hands on barrages, but if I could, I would be playing 3 of them for sure. Like, no doubt, definitely play 3 barrages if you want to play this deck and you do have access to barrages. But Tenki was okay. My problem with Tenki is that it doesn't take itself off the board inherently like barrage does. And so when you use Tenki, well, first it's going to take your normal summon unlike barrage, but when you summon your rat and do your rat combo, you have to use Dryden to pop the Tenki so you don't keep Tenki on board, because your Burning Abyss monsters won't be able to special summon themselves. So that's actually like a huge contradiction. So that's also why I didn't play 3 Tenki versus playing 3 barrage. I just didn't want continuous spell cards being face up on the board that don't remove themselves. Because if you look at the other continuous spell cards, Vanishment and Imagination, both of them take themselves off the board. Tenki does not. So only 2 Tenkis. Definitely replace these with barrages if you can. But Tenki kind of gets the job done. I mean, it's just another way to get rat. And the Foolish Burial was actually very, very good. This was a 1-for-1, but I changed it last minute because 1-for-1 isn't as versatile, because with 1-for-1 you can only search a Decatron. It also requires another monster in your hand that you might not want to discard. But Foolish Burial is good because it lets you send Infernoids if you need that. It lets you send Phantom Knights if you need like more level 3s or you need searchable defense. And you can also send Burning Abyss monsters, which help solve a lot of problems depending on the situation. Like, I mean, you can send Farfa to banish a monster. You can send Graph to get a level 3, Seer to bring back a Dante or something. Calcab turns this into MST. Just the Burning Abyss engine gives this so much utility. I had to play it over the 1-for-1. And then for the other traps, I just played 2 Fog Blades. Again, searchable defense with boots. And then also, if you mill it, you can use it to bring back other Phantom Knights. So it's searchable defense that brings back monsters to help you make more rank 3s. It's actually kind of broken. It's pretty cool. Then for the extra deck, I played 1 Tierra and then 1 Dante Pilgrim as the fusions. This was for Beatrice in case Beatrice died. And then Tierra was actually really, really good. And so generally you're only going to summon it with 6 material. And what that lets you do is you can send the top 3 cards from your deck to the graveyard, and then also send 3 cards from your extra deck to the graveyard. And both players do this. And so there were a couple times where I made my opponents mill rats. That was pretty cool. And I would mill, like, I mean, obviously all the good cards to mill in this deck. But then for the sending extra deck monsters to the graveyard, this is actually pretty good too, because I could send Cyframe Lord Omega and then shuffle cards that were in my graveyard that I didn't want to mill back to my deck. So if I accidentally milled like a rat, I could shuffle it back to my deck and then be able to do my rat combo. And so this is actually really good. The only synchro monster I played was Cyframe Lord Omega. We all know what this does. For the rank 3s, I played 2 Dante, 1 Break Sword, 1 Levier, and then Invoker. I did not play Totem Bird because I didn't think I had the space for it. I felt that double Dante is very important. I went into it a lot, especially because I was oftentimes sending 1 off of Tierra. And so this was the correct lineup, I think, for rank 3s. Very happy with it. Levier, I went into more than I expected to, because what I would do is banish Decatron for some of the other Infernoid monsters to summon them, and then I would just go into Levier later, and then bring back Decatron, send back another Infernoid from the deck to the graveyard, and really just fill my graveyard up with Infernoid monsters. So Levier was very popular, and it worked out very well. I actually didn't go into Breaksword as much as I thought I would. I think I only went into it once all day. For the rank 4s, 1 Borbo, 1 Tiger Mortar, 1 Broad Bull, 1 Trident, 1 Kagetsuchi, and 1 Emerald. These are all pretty standard for any Zoodiac deck aside from Kagetsuchi, which I already mentioned mills 5, which synergizes very well with all of the engines in this deck. So this lineup I'm very happy with. I was considering playing a second Trident or a second, or not or, but both a second Trident and Broad Bull, but I just couldn't make space. I needed the other level 3s, or rank 3s I should say. But if I could make space for anything, I would make space for the second Trident. And then finally, 1 Beatrice. And like I said, Beatrice is still really, really good. Being able to send Farfa, Infernoids, Fairy Tail Snow, it's just so hard to deal with. And even if they can deal with it, they still have to worry about Pilgrims. So very good cards this format. Very happy that I played them. And it sort of was nostalgic too. Like after playing PK Fire for so long, being able to play PK Fire again was a lot of fun. Alright, so finally for the side deck, I decided to side 2 Slumber, 3 Kaijus, 2 Max C, 3 Lancia, 2 Retaliating C, 2 Ghost Ogres, and then Vanities. But I actually never sided Vanities. I only wanted these 14 cards, but I needed a 15, so I figured, you know, what the heck, why not play Vanities? But it never went in, I never drew it, so we can disregard that. These are the main cards I wanted to play, and every time I sided, I only sided in 7 cards, and they were generally these 7 cards in sort of different combinations of them. And I felt like going first, I had a very ideal main deck because I had so many starter cards, the Zoodiac combo, Burning Abyss plays, PK Fire plays. I have defense with the PK Fire engine, or the Phantom Knight engine I should say. And so I didn't feel the need to put in any other cards for going first. Like I didn't need any other traps because you're very unlikely to draw traps, but you're very likely to mill boots or draw traps. And of course the traps are Feast or Fogblade. So I really want to focus on playing searchable traps that I didn't have to hard draw versus having to play defense that I would have to hard draw. Just because it's not very likely to hard draw cards in a 60 card deck. But I can always play Void Vanishment to search Feast or Mill of Boots to search Fogblade. But I really needed more help going second versus established boards, and then that's when the side deck comes into play, and that's why I play all going second cards except for the Vanities, which didn't even get sided. Or I'm sorry, I did side it once. And what I did was I sided out 1 Fogblade and then sided in the Vanities for it, because again, I can just always search Fogblade. And so like if I was playing against regular Kaiju Zoo, this is what I sided. So I had 5 cards to answer their board and then double Max C. And I chose this ratio simply because I only needed 7 cards to side in. And so I felt that 2 Slumbers and 3 Kaijus would be ideal, because I want to resolve Slumber if I draw it, so I need more than 2 Kaijus obviously in case I draw one of them. And also being able to mill Slumber means I could just search a Kaiju. So it was really good. I was very happy with this lineup going second against Zoodiacs. If I was going second against Zoodiac Invoked, what I would do is I would switch out the Slumbers because they could always just negate Slumber with Merkaba. I sided very similarly for Windwitch Eidolon Invoked, and all I did was take out the interrupted Kaiju Slumbers, because if they summon the Crystal Wing, this isn't going to stop them. And I sided in the Ghost Ogres, because this is something that can stop the Windwitch combo. Then if I went against Infernoids, I would still side the Ghost Ogres, because they're pretty good against a lot of the Infernoid monsters, as well as Void Vanishment. And then I would also side in the Lancias and then the Maxis. If I was going second versus Zoodiac Invoked, I sort of go back up to the top row, where I would side in these again. So the same thing for Zoodiac Invoked. Let's see, what else? I think those are like most of the relevant matchups, to be honest. There's not really much else. I didn't play against any Paleozoic, but if I did actually have nothing for them, I guess I would decide these 7 again. These were just like the best side cards, honestly. Like I didn't think I really needed much else. Ghost Ogre is good in specific situations. I originally wanted to play Retaliating Seas for Invoked, but one thing I realized was that if they summon the Crystal Wing, this is completely dead against them. And so I'll probably change the Retaliating Seas in the future. These I wasn't too happy with. I might change these for Dinkos. I mean, because Paleo did just win the YCS, there are going to be a lot of net deckers, and I'll probably be playing this at ARG Springfield. I mean, not Springfield, but Atlantic City. So maybe I'll play Dinkos, just because people might net deck Paleo. But I don't know, it'll be interesting to see. And so I'll actually put a poll up in the top right corner of the screen. Let me know what you think I should replace the Retaliating Seas with in the side deck. So I'm actually not sure. And same with the vanities. This might stay, this might go, who knows. But if you're interested in the tournament report, I'll also upload one of those, and I'll put the link to that in the top right corner of the screen. So definitely check that out if you get the chance. I'd really appreciate it. Let me know what you think about this deck down in the comment section below. I always love the feedback. And so please like, comment, subscribe. Definitely check out that tournament report. It's quite spicy. There are a lot of interesting things happen that I really want to tell you guys about how YCS Atlanta went, both in the event and outside the event. And so check that video out, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all later. Bye.
Remember that time, those cerulean tides, sapphire, a sapphire dive.